heavy rain and a lot of lightning.
That's exactly what you'll get, because that lightning's not backing off right now, at least at the moment. And I've just been watching the feed come in from people tweeting us and seeing all kinds of trees down. A lot of shelf clouds. This is just one of those perfect days. The conditions were right to see it, and a lot of folks have been able to do just that, get out there and see those. And again, very intimidating. And they usually bring some strong winds with them, at least once they start passing over your head. But then you have to worry about what follows. That's what ends up happening out there. So.
And I'll tell you straight up, I'm certainly glad there's no cap on Twitter today in the number of tweets you can see, or because, you know, on a day like this, you know, the pictures and videos and real-time reports, Jim, can be lifesavers.
Well, they can be.
You know, in situations like this. Tornado warning does continue. That is just about to go by the wayside. New severe thunderstorm warning does continue, though, into Garrett County, or that tornado warning, I should say, Garrett County and Lincoln County. That's got just a few more minutes, about 7 minutes or so left on it. Whether or not it sees that expiration time, because I think that was for the original storm on the southern edge of that the rotation had really faded away a little bit ago, and here's hoping that is the case. But again, that's going to head more toward Conway than Berea. Berea is just to our south, and eventually all of that's going to open up the sky into Mount Vernon, Livingston, over into McKee and Anvil into Jackson County, just to the east. So still some broad spin in there. Nothing looking at that jumps out at me right now. And then back to the west. Probably not seeing a whole lot there with that. Nope, even less.
Some gustier winds are certainly
Gusty
there.
winds, yeah.
But they're typical for, you know, severe thunderstorm warning or a good strong thunderstorm.
Yeah, so the chances of those storms now producing a tornado are much, much lower. And that is great news. But, you know, the reflectivity is increased on that, so that means we're likely getting in on some hail and some high winds, and you know, the shelf cloud pictures are just absolutely astounding that continue to come in on social media. So, you know, we're using social media to our advantage as well, Jim, because, you know, as long as people are safe in getting us real-time pictures, videos, and reports, then we're good. And we put your safety above all else. So it's all about your safety. Pictures can wait. Make sure you're safe, your family's safe, and then we're all golden. Our mission here is to protect you and keep you protected as best as we can. Keep property protected. Give you a heads up, which is why we call it First Alert Weather Day. We've had a 4-day First Alert Weather Day, and we've had severe weather on all 4 days. So we gave you this a 48-hour notice that this was coming from the first day, which would have been now, what, 6 days ago. We called that last Monday for late week into the coming weekend. So, you know, that's why we first alert, to keep you safe and keep your family safe and give you a heads up.
Not hearing any chatter on the warning, the tornado warning down there. So I'm not saying whether or not they're going to continue it or they're going to adjust or what have you. So we'll just kind of wait and see. We're getting about 5 minutes away from the expiration.
Yeah, we just got an email from our Kelsey Soto from Lansdowne. If we can get that picture pulled up. Wow. I mean, from Lansdowne Drive here in Lexington. I mean, you want to talk about a really big tree, old tree that is now in splinters. We're gonna pull that up and show it here in just a little bit. And it's something to see.
I'm looking at it now I see it. Yeah. So yeah, that's just and one of many that we're going to find out.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I'm looking at traffic release from Lexington Police Department working with road crews and Kentucky Utilities to clear the roads and restore power to intersections as quickly as possible. You know, but obviously with the rain and the storms and the lightning that's out there, that makes it even harder and prolongs everything. And they're just reminding you that when you see flashing yellow lights, red lights, or no signal, that you really use caution. And Man, these storms have left their mark across central and eastern Kentucky. Central Kentucky especially. We said yesterday that today's threat would be farther east into central and eastern Kentucky, and now Mother Nature is making good on that as she is unloading on the Bluegrass State with multiple rounds of strong and severe thunderstorms. We're on the air still until this tornado warning expires, and then we will get back to some regular programming and then just break in periodically with updates. And of course, if you're watching us right now, coming up at 10 o'clock, you get the CW Lexington. You can flip over. We've got an hour-long newscast every night at 10 on the CW Lexington. We're going to be on there, and we're going to be on WKYT right after that at 11. So essentially everything you get from WKYT News, you're going to get from the CW Lexington tonight at 10. Here's that picture, Jim, from Lansdowne. And look at that. I mean, that is a tree that is that essentially was split in half, and you see part of it going to one side. And if you look closely, you've got the tree, Jim, that's going in opposite directions. One side of it broke off to the left there of the picture.
You do, don't you?
You do. It's not all in one direction.
Well, that's suspicious.
That's right. So that's one of the things the National Weather Service would look at. Now, of course, that may have just been gravity pulling it, one way or the other because of how the tree was, how it was oriented. But yeah, that's something that the National Weather Service will look at. And I would imagine that tomorrow, Weather Service from Louisville and Jackson are going to be busy campers, following the progress of the path of damage to see if we had straight line winds or if we had some embedded tornado touchdowns that may have caused the damage. They look at that because they look at the damage, and if everything is going, the damage path is everything in one direction, straight line winds. But if you see things that are strewn about in, a circular fashion, Jim, that's some spin or rotation, then likely that was produced by a tornado instead of straight line winds.
Well, that's exactly right. And that's what they go out and look for. And they look for what kind of structure is damaged and how damaged it was. A lot of factors go into that when they go out and check those out, too.
Southern edge of that line with a new severe thunderstorm warning that is out. That does include Columbia into Adair County, and then back to the west of us toward Bowling Green, Glasgow. Those storms, those are going to impact southern Kentucky. So if you're watching us right now, Somerset, down toward Russell Springs, Jamestown, the Lake Cumberland area, and into Williamsburg, we'll watch those storms coming in from the west. Moorhead, here comes the second round of severe weather, where those cells are starting to merge right on top of the Wolf, Morgan, and Menifee County line. Sometimes you can get that to create a little spin. I'm not seeing it right now, but that may intensify that storm at least briefly, as if it needs help, Jim. As it moves to the east, and it's going to impact areas again along 519 where we had high winds earlier, Campton, Beattyville, over toward Irvin, McKean, and Jackson County, and then points to the west and southwest. We've got just about 10 seconds before that tornado warning expires. We'll stay on the air just a little bit to make sure that does not get extended. But as of now, that doesn't appear to be the case.
It doesn't. And I keep watching for chatter to come in, and now it's gone. And you just see a severe thunderstorm warning that remains off to the east of that.
All right, so to recap what we're dealing with right now, all the counties you see shaded in yellow are severe thunderstorm warnings, and that is with this last line of severe weather that is rolling its way on through. First Alert Radar Network is tracking that line of potentially damaging winds now east of the Lexington Metro. This is heading toward Moorhead and will eventually impact areas on the Mountain Parkway from Stanton to Salyersville, and then back into Jackson County, Estill County, Lee, and Owsley. Parts of Laurel County, northern Pulaski County, and then we're going to watch those storms to the west that will impact the Lake Cumberland region as well. All right, what we'll do, keep it right here on WKYT. We'll send you back to programming, and we'll be breaking in periodically to give you updates on where we stand with the power outages, the damage, the warnings, and of course, if we get a tornado warning, we'll break in immediately and stay on the air. Keep it right here on WKYT.
We now join our regularly scheduled program already in progress.
Locations: Jerkin, Node, Haywood, Bliss, Romina, And slit with a razor blade. No bears don't carry razor blades. People had gone to that site, they knew where the drop was, and they basically pulled out whatever they could. That's all incriminating evidence there.
Was being flown and had people that were associates in Jordan. It was a plane that had a total of 17.
All kinds of strong and severe thunderstorms here across the area. Let's go out to these. This complex of thunderstorms. This is the same exact complex that got its act together just to the east of Louisville, rode through the Lexington Metro into central Kentucky, and now continues to maintain its strength into eastern Kentucky. This has been the culprit, and that has what's caused all the damage and caused all the power issues. Still here, severe thunderstorm warning for a number of counties here in eastern Kentucky, stretching from Sandy Hook down through West Liberty, Salyersville, Jackson, and then getting eventually off into Prestonsburg and Paintsville as well. Still 60+ mile an hour hail that could be upwards of quarter size.